Okay. Holiday season is upon us tonight. All right, let's see who we have in the building. It is. I'm here, baby. Don't you worry. In the words of Nene Leakes, I have arrived and the spotlight is on me. Yes. Okay, who do we? Michelle Footman, I'm ready to have a real conversation. Well, baby, you came to the right place. That's what we do on Monday Night Live. We have real conversation. Hi, Brianna. Good to see you here again, love. Hi, Raindrops. Carlos, you get a 15-minute. Thank you, Lord Jesus. I love a 15-minute grace period. If you could do it to your pastor, do it to Los, okay? Because this is now called Message Monday. Where are you going? Listen, it's the holiday season, so I wanted to make sure that I dress for the occasion because this is our last Monday Night Live for 2024. Okay, thank you, Cream Tour. This is our final live, okay, for 2024. So I wanted to dress the occasion. Hey, Sheridan. Queen Raindrop, she is. Yes. Okay, so there's so much to talk about. So much tea waiting for you to dive into. I know, baby. We're gonna dive into all of it with my special guest tonight. Wait, we got a first-time viewer. Hold on now. Hold. Mecca Carr, a first-time viewer. Thank you for joining this show. So these are the rules, okay? You behave yourself. You behave yourself. We definitely will block you. We will block you, child. You're too mean. This is a safe space to have a real conversation. We have fun. This is, child, I'm like Jocelyn Hernandez. My fur, I keep coming off. This fur, baby, this fur has a vitamin. Oh, hold on. Okay, let's stick with that. Okay, so we have a lot to get into tonight. I'm so happy. I like to talk about my weekend and stuff. What did I do? You know what's so funny? This is a real conversation. For the first time in months, this is real. For the first time in months, I stayed home all weekend. I was not outside this weekend. I stayed home because I wanted to just relax. The 2-week break that I get during the holidays, I like to do nothing because I'm always doing something. Either I'm hosting something, shooting something, producing something, podcast. So I spent the weekend doing absolutely nothing because I will be going someplace for New Year's Eve. I am following Lisa Ray's advice. So for the month of January, thank you. Yes, come to America. So for the month of January, you guys may not see me. I will be vacationing for the month. You can't say month. You have to say it the way Lisa Ray said in her Chicago accent, month. So I will be on vacation the entire month of January. So I wanted to make sure that I spent time alone. I got a lot of stuff done. Is that velvet? It's fur. So I didn't do anything this weekend, and that's that. So I will be spending New Year's Eve with. I won't be alone. I won't be alone New Year's Eve, honey. I will be spending New Year's Eve. We got to see what happens when you bring in the new year. So, I'll be spending New Year's Eve, outside. And this is when I'm going to tell y'all this, then I'm going to move on. Okay. This will be whether or not I'll come back to you guys in 2025 with an update. Because, child, it all depends on New Year's Eve, honey. But all jokes aside, so yeah, we will not the schoolgirl giggle, J Mitch. Anywho, so that's gonna be my New Year's Eve, and I'll be gone for the whole month of January, honey, like I was December. As y'all can see, I'm not in my closet. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about tonight. So let me break on my guest. Let me break on the guest. So look, wait, there's a typo. Oh my God, there's a typo. Wait, can you fix it? Can somebody fix it for me? Wait, hold on a sec, child. I'm a perfectionist. Am I able to fix this? Hold on. I don't know if I can. Okay, I'm gonna see if somebody else can do it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so happy holidays, everybody. I hope you guys will have a great Christmas, and we have a jam-packed show this evening. Obviously, we have to talk about the explosive Belle Collective finale. So we have the amazing, legendary football player, Willie Colon, in the house. He will be talking about the finale and giving you guys some perspective on what went down. But first, we have to bring on the two guests who y'all always ask about. He is a resident Monday night player and a player. I'm teasing. I love him. Bring on Dustin Ross.
I sure am. And you know I love game time, baby. So let's play. Now, listen, Carlos, I see you got on formal wear tonight. You celebrating singledom? You celebrating being the king of your castle? Is that what you're celebrating tonight? Yeah. Dress for the occasion. Dress for the occasion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll see, Dustin, if that's going to be the case in 2025.
Yeah, well, Dustin, I hope all your lane thing. Okay.
Dustin, I'm a relationship boy. Why don't you want me to be in a relationship?
Something new. Something new. There's something new for you on the other side of that. And it's not, to be clear, I never want your heart's, desires not to be satisfied. I want you to be fulfilled and thriving and happy. But I want part of your happiness to come from your experiences. That's all. And if there's any way I can play a part in facilitating that, I'm available. Yeah.
Dustin, I'm trying to have this ring go on this finger.
Yeah. That's right. And I'm trying to get you championship rings. I'm trying to have these rings on every finger, okay? Like Kobe and them niggas. That's how I want your rings to look. It's all good. More on that later.
More on that later. Well, listen, I'll see if Willie Colon will let me borrow his championship rings. We'll see if that's going to happen or not.
They better recognize, okay?
Okay. All right. So, Dustin, this is the first time you and her are going to be in the same room, and I must say, I'm a little nervous.
Man, I'm so happy, man. I've been waiting on this.
Because baby, you and her in the same room makes me smile. It makes me nervous, but I know the raindrops have been asking for it, and we are here to deliver. Ladies, gentlemen, today, I brought you guys a Christmas gift. And no, it is not Mrs. Santa, but she is somebody who reads a lot of, I'm not going to say it, she will, but give it up for Jasmine Henley Brown.
Hello, I only bring the Christmas cheer, Carlos. Hey, Dustin.
What's up, Jazz?
I'm so excited.
Me too. It's been
so time. To be with you.
It's been time. You are the shit, and I think
as
it's time
are you.
To do that together. So I'm
as
happy.
Are you, Carlos? I don't know if it's the formal wear, but you are giving Nation of Islam with the bow tie and the glasses. Assalamu alaikum. No orange for me.
Keep your hands on my pockets, is what Malcolm X said.
Now that's
Keep
black.
your hands on my pockets, baby. If
Yeah.
you have to be a fan of Malcolm X movie played by Denzel Washington to
That's
know
right.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So Jasmine and Dustin, you guys are together, and this is going to be a fun live.
Well, who
I'm
else
so
is joining
excited.
us, Carlos? Because we in the season of people joining the lives. I just saw over the weekend where Martell Holt, of Love and Marriage Huntsville fame, and Arion Curry, who is the mother to his youngest child. They had a young lady on their live who looked like she was in the witness protection program. And she looked like she was in disguise. Okay, an angel in disguise. She was sitting up there in that white room. Okay, Jasmine, I don't know if you saw it. It was not a set. It was a white room. Now I know they sell spec homes down there in Huntsville. I know Martel then finally got his paperwork submitted, at least for the licensing he
For the
needs
builder license.
to be in a home that would have an empty room like that, where they could set up those stools and those microphones and get it popping like that. So I watched that, and I don't know if y'all had the same takeaway. I'm assuming you both watched, Jasmine. The way you got your eye on shit, I know you saw it, and I just feel like I'm clear now, right? I feel like I'm clear now. I understand that Martell is right where he belongs with Arion. They have so much chemistry. They both were in the bowels of the internet together the other night, introducing us to some woman who was miscellaneous and anonymous, and they were making fun of her in the screen caps that they used to promote the interview, body shaming her and shit, saying Marsau has a type. And she was sitting up there brambling and sputtering and coming up with things. And I just was really, I don't even know if we're supposed to be talking about this shit tonight. You know what I mean? Because we try to stay away from things.
It don't even matter.
It's your show.
All right.
I just feel like, damn, you know what I mean? Now, if never before, I know that Martell Holt and Arion Curry are a match made in heaven. They are made for each other. The way that they were in sync and in step down there doing that interview together, I have just my eyes are open and I'm clear now. And I just thought it was funny to me, of all the things we've been watching Martell on TV. Let's take Arion out of it, because honestly, she's not on the show. To me, it's unfair to discuss her in that context, right? Focusing on Martell, who's a cast member. Of all the things, we've been watching him on TV for many, many years, and we watched Melody depart that marriage and thrive, skyrocket into solo success, so much so she changed her name and married her goddamn self on television. Okay, we saw that. We haven't seen any movement with Martell, and I just thought it was telling that of all the things that he could apply himself to, of all the things for him to make an effort for, of all the times for him to show up with something to say, this the conversation you want to have. This is how you introduce Arion and y'all's coupling to the world through this National Enquirer's Sun magazine ass gossip rag ass interview shit that you all did. I thought it was telling, so I just want to kind of open with that and get that out the way so we can move on to what's on the show, what's on the television, because that was on the internet. Yeah.
Jasmine, would you like?
Listen, I saw it. Carlos got a DM for me when the clip came out. I messaged him. I said, "Now what in the fuck?" Because I was just taken aback. I was so confused. I didn't know he had popped out with Arion. I was shocked to see them together. But to your point, Dustin, they were in sync. Like it was a choreographed dance. With all of the scripting and everything. And I'm glad that he finally did get his builder's license and can record in a spec home and get a miscellaneous person to come in and claim that they were having an affair with his castmate. I don't know. Carlos, you give us the real tea, because we need to know what's real and what's fake. Who's phony,
Carlos.
who's fake?
Have you seen that woman before, Carlos? Who was she?
Now they ain't never seen that. No one's ever seen that woman.
Where did they get her from? And where is she going back to? That's what I would like to know. I had never. She looked like was she in the grunge? Is she a emo? She had that dark, thick, dark hair that's straight, like blown out, like you curled it while it was wet. Right? God. It was like that. And she was sitting up there, tonight's the night tonight. She looked like she was one of them emo kids. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But 31, you know what I'm saying? I had just never seen nothing like that. And if they were trying to convince us that is what happened, it did not work. I don't believe for 1 second anything that I saw on that screen. And I honestly wish that they could find their way back to some sort of dignified, cordial state of being, because that was beneath everybody that watches that show. I'm not even gonna say it was beneath Martell and Arion, because apparently that's right. That's level set for them. But for us that watch that show, that have come to know Love and Marriage Huntsville, that have, been following these stories, that was way down. That was down, baby. Okay, that was way down below where we have. It was beneath us. You know what I'm saying? And I just disappointed, but not surprised. That's all I got to say. And I don't give a fuck either. You know what I'm saying? Because if we ain't going to be talking about that, hey, you know what I'm saying? We ain't supposed to talk about it. Don't put this out there.
I don't think we all assumed you did.
That's it. That's it. And who better to talk about it with than Jasmine Henley Brown, baby? This is perfect. Perfect. Yes.
I need Carlos to chime in, because Dustin, you said everything that I could have said. I have no other words for it. She was very random. It was so out there. It was so shocking. That's why Carlos got the message from me. Like, what is really going on? It's the holiday season. Things like this should not be happening. But to your point, like I said, when it comes to those two, maybe that is what should be happening. But Carlos, you really have to give us the tea. Like, we need the backstory. We need the real. Where did this woman come from?
Who was
the
that
people
woman?
Need to know. We have a right to know. Journalist Jazz is on the case. The people need to know. We have a right to know. Okay.
Who was she? Like them. She looked just like them. The cast members on. Y'all ever watch Love After Lockup? She looked just like them women on Love After Lockup. She looked just like one of them. Nothing wrong with her. But she looked just like the women on Love After Lockup. So I want to know who.
That's it.
Yeah.
Look. Jasmine knows this, being an executive producer, and obviously Dustin knows this as well. So we are in production right now for a new season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So when anything happens when things happen that's current in season, I don't talk about it. Unlike a lot of people, I respect my job and I make sure not to go against what I get hired to do. So I wait until I sit in the reunion chair to address things. So we do have a reunion coming up for this current season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. And there's been a lot of things that happened in this whole year when it comes to Huntsville that I know people are like, are you going to talk about it? Why are you not talking about it? It's because I obey the obligation that is within my job. So it will be, you know what I'm saying? So listen, you two are allowed to talk about anything you want to. I do not want to get a phone call or email.
Yeah, let's clear that up. We're not Carlos's mouthpieces. We're sharing our opinions. We weren't prompted to discuss anything or share anything, because people can run with that when we say things. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to clear that up.
Listen,
nobody told us to say nothing.
Yeah, no.
This is how we feel.
Listen, people are in here to make sure that before Christmas Day, they get to run up on YouTube and use my picture as a thumbnail and make money. I ain't mad at it, honey. Listen, call me Santa, honey. I'm coming down the chimney on a YouTube channel and making sure y'all get fed. So listen, obviously people know that I don't make y'all say anything. Just like people like to say Funky Dineva's on my payroll, and Funky Dineva was Funky Dineva before y'all even knew who Carlos King was. And if that was the case, I would have Funky Dineva talk about Belle Collective or Family Empire Houston. Why would I pay him to talk about a show that's number one? It makes no sense. But I know it drives traffic. So with that being said, stay tuned for a whole new season of Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Congratulations.
Hey.
Jasmine, you like that, right? Listen, Jasmine's an EP, so Jasmine knows exactly what time it is.
That's why I didn't press you anymore. I'm like, okay, when you mentioned we don't want to affect your bills, okay? We don't want the coin to be affected, so we're not going to press you anymore for any more tea about that. But at the reunion, do us a solid and get to the bottom of that shit, please.
Don't I always, honey? I always do. I'm known to ask questions. And listen, Jasmine knows she's the one who EP'd and co-created my podcast, so Jasmine knows what time it is. But look,
and we
this
thank
upcoming reunion, we love Jazz. This upcoming reunion that airs in 3 weeks, I think, or two, whatever. You will hear me ask, get into, banter, question, interrogate a lot of things that you guys were asking me to talk about on my YouTube.
That's
so
good.
Wait until the reunion and all of your questions will be answered about the other stuff. Now, the stuff that happened this weekend, y'all gonna have to wait. I was trying to enjoy my Christmas weekend going shopping, child, and my phone was blowing up, honey. Jasmine DMs me, child, and I was just like, I just want to enjoy my holiday break, but such is life.
Ain't no breaks.
Glad you ain't no breaks, baby. So listen, speaking of breaks, we have to get into Belle Collective, and I want to start by saying this. Thank you all for making Belle Collective the hit that it is. It is. Yeah. We're double digits in the ratings. It was named one of the top 10 best reality shows by The Wrap and Yahoo. Along with Traders and Vanderpump Rules and Big Brother. So we were in great company. That's and right. We have a new season that we're about to start shooting as well. So I want to thank all of the Raindrops of fans for making sure to talk about Belle Collective, because, you know, when you guys complain that I don't talk about my own shows, when I do, look what happens. So anywho,
what is that? Some hibiscus?
It is.
I know you.
It actually is. Look what happens when Carlos King talks about his own shows, because both of my shows' ratings have went up double digits this season. So anywho, shout out to Huntsville and Belle Collective. Speaking of which, we just wrapped our finale. So Jazz and Dustin, as we talk about what happened on this finale, we got to bring in the man who was the most talked about person on social media. I know you two have tons of questions and tons of comments. Ladies, gentlemen, and they, give it up for Willie Colon.
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Willie. What's happening, man?
Hey.
How you feeling?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
We are happy to have you a part of Monday Night Live. So, Willie, we got to talk about the scene from Belle Collective that people are still talking about today. I first want to get Dustin and Jasmine POV, and then Willie, I'm going to have you just take it away based on, obviously, you were there and your experience. So, Dustin, what did you think about the finale?
Yeah, well, listen, I have so many comments, but since we have Brother Colon in the building tonight, I just want to say it wasn't no surprise to me. Willie Colon is a Super Bowl champion, and if anybody is familiar with Willie on that field and in the NFL, Willie never played. No, he didn't take no shit in the NFL, and never played the radio with none of them niggas in the league. So I was not surprised to see that formidable showing, you know what I mean, of statesmanship, if that's even a damn thing. That's what it was, you know what I mean? Willie wasn't having it, and it was not a surprise to me. So listen, people emotions run high, and when you don't know people very well, when you don't have a lot of experiences where you're able to read people's emotions or kind of like see how people operate and move, sometimes misunderstandings can happen. And I definitely think what we saw was a result of a culmination of several misunderstandings. I don't think you like some of the jokes that were flying, and it's when you don't know people, there's a nuance you got to find. You know, I joke, I talk shit literally for a living, but there's a nuance of respect. There's a balance that you have to find when you're doing that with people that you don't have a rapport with, and sometimes that can lead you down a road, you know, a road, and that's what we saw on this week's episode. But shout out to Latrice and Cliff for opening up their business. You know what I'm saying? It was great to see those two businesses within walking distance of one another. I thought the aerial shots were really, really dope. And I also think that people forget that Aikisha is from Jackson. When you watch the show, you think about the wonderful businesses that you all have, you know, established here in New York City, the wonderful work that Aikisha has done in Jackson, you as an NFL Super Bowl champion, but people forget that Aikisha is from Jackson. So when you saw those people rallying around her, when you saw friends and couple, cousins or whoever it was popping up, when you saw her people popping up, she's from Jackson. So you see that, and that's why we saw a lot of the additional characters we saw, and it was what it was. I definitely think it was a misunderstanding that kind of ballooned into, just a hot moment for everybody.
Absolutely. Can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead, Jazz.
My observation, I think, Willie, from the time you got on here, I have family from the South, right? I'm from the Midwest, but there's always this preconceived notion of Northerners, right? Like you come in, you're the big, what they call you. He tried to call you a little fish in a little pond or whatever he said.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is a little bit of an expectation that you're going to come in and think that you're better and smarter and faster than them because they are Southern, and Southerners kind of have somewhat of a reputation. And so I think from one of the first the first few interactions that I've seen of you with these men, they kind of were expecting you to like think less of them. And I think in some instances you displayed that a little bit, right? Sure. But I think this is what, like Dustin said, it's a culmination of a bunch of misunderstandings. It's a culmination of maybe a little bit of insecurity on their end. And so they were waiting for a moment to be able to tag team you a little bit, right? Because I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, it's like a 2-on-1 thing, but it wasn't a 2-on-1 because your secret weapon was right there. Aikisha was like, oh, yeah, because if y'all don't fuck with my husband, I don't fuck with y'all either. And I loved it. So shout out to her. I usually think like women, we should stay out of the men stuff. But I think in that instance, like Dustin said, that's her city. That's where she's from. That was the perfect time and the perfect space for her to come in and really have your back. But I think that's all it really boiled down to, because it just sounded like they wanted to have a time where like they could make you feel small. And they don't have many instances where they're able to do that. So I think that's what that ended up being.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I don't think less Southerners. I just want to clear that. My whole inspiration going into the season was, I realized after looking at social media and paying attention to some of the comments that had been said about me, that was the kind of narrative that really thinks he's holier than thou because of my resume, where I come from. That was never the case. I'm like a mirror, man. What you give me, I give right back. If you cool, I'm cool. If you loving, I'm loving. But if you with the shit, I can get with the shits, right? And that's just how I'm built, And I'm always going to draw the line because I think there always has to be a line. There always has to be a level of respect. But if you cross that line, I'm gonna be waiting to chew through your chest. That's just how I built since I was young. As far as my relationship with the guys, I realized that part of the disconnect was that I do live in New Jersey. So I'm only with those guys when I'm shooting. And so part of the motive for this season was like, all right, I have a podcast. Supposedly they have a podcast. Like we're right here. This is the only forum where we can really just talk about stories, manhood, and really take a deep dive into each other. And as you've seen, they wasn't with that, right? They're just like, nah, fuck that. And so I extended the olive branch. And when it was thrown back in my face, I was like, well, I'm out of moves, right? Like we don't have each other's numbers. We don't talk. So the only thing I can offer is my platform. And then if you didn't feel comfortable on my platform, I'll come to your platform because I have nothing to hide. I really wanted to get to know the men. And I have been critical of everything that they have going on from a storyline, right? But that's all that's been given to me, right? Like if you rap in front of me and I don't like your rap, I don't like your rap, right? I said it. If your storyline's infidelity, then I'm just going with what you gave me. If you have trouble speaking like actual words and you leave that for me and we're going to go back and forth, then I'm gonna go at you, what you're giving me. So I don't do a deep dive into these guys. I'm only using what they project. And so with all that said, man, I was frustrated because it seemed like there was times where on camera, I think I try to extend myself. However, this is the pivot. Off camera, we were Gucci. Everything was cool because even the scene that we had at Nanos, shout out the people at Nanos in New Orleans. They were first of all, the staff was great, but when we stepped away from the cameras, Glenn and I talked man to man. We just had at it. I said, good. I see where you're at. You see where I'm at. Love. Cliff, when he's sober and he's clear-minded, he's a really good dude, right? Outside, I don't speak on other people's marriages because that's not how but man to man, we cool. And so after that, and even after we left out of New Orleans, I'm getting in the car, JJ and I, with our wives. Glenn is like, hey man, you know, I'm about to hit up Bourbon Street. What y'all about to do? I'm like, I'm going to Jackson, man. I gotta get back to my babies. We dapped it up. We shook hands. It was love. There was no issues, at least on my part. It wasn't until 2 weeks later till the opening where I realized the energy and the negativity I was greeted with, and I didn't understand because when we got to Latrice's, I think, boutique shop with the hair stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Glenn said some slick shit to me, but I was like, whatever. Because first of all, it was hot as hell. Like it was burning hot out there. My wife wasn't feeling well. We had to go pick up the kids. You know, we're dealing with trying to be on time for the event. We had a million things going on. So we were going back and forth. Nevertheless, when we arrived, man, you know, Glenn had some slick shit to say. And I really
remember what he said.
I think he was making fun of my because I had just got shaped up and I got sprayed in and shit. So I think he said some slick shit like that. But when you married, man, and your wife is in your ass about being late, worrying about the kids, I wasn't paying attention to none of that. I was just kind of locked in. So with that said, man, as we kind of go through it, I noticed the energy was just different. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. Even JJ noticed it. Me and JJ are very honest with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all right? He's like, but I knew he had a lot of shit going on with him. So I was just like, well, okay, Jay. And then when we arrived in Toast, Cliff greeted me at the door. I shook his hand. It was love, yada, yada, yada. And we went to the back of the restaurant where Cliff, I think, has a cigar bar. And for somebody that owns an establishment, I know how hard it is to get it off the ground.
Yeah,
right? You have a plan. It takes time. It takes a lot of things to get. So me and my wife, being two blacks, a black couple that supports black businesses, we were happy for them, right? My wife has always been, outside of the drama, always supportive of what Latrice has done, solely because we know how hard fucking business is. It is not easy, especially when you're taking a chance on yourself and you're investing in your name and what you're trying to bring to the table. So outside of that, we were happy with what they would been able to do. And so fast forward, we get to the cigar bar. I'm looking around with Jay. And when we leave out of there, I walk to the bar and I see Cliff. I'm like, hey, man, because he was talking to somebody. I was like, I just want to take the time. I said, congratulations. This is awesome. Beautiful place. Great. And, you know, he was drinking and I could tell I've been around Cliff enough to know when he's getting a little saucy. So I was just like, cool. But this is his restaurant. Here's his time to celebrate. I'm not going to tell the man not to drink and how to drink. That's not what I'm there for. So fast forward, man, after I said, you know, congratulations, awesome job, I step back. If you watch the scene, the women get to dancing, the drinks get to going, the food get to eating, and everybody's kind of relaxing themselves. Excuse me. And we get to the, you know, obviously they set the scene up. And I realized, man, as I sat down, and obviously they showed a clip of Glenn slapping my hand away, something changed, right? I could just feel it. Like I realized like the odds were on me. It was, and I've never been in that position, especially not in the scene. I've always been like, whatever happens, happens. We'll do our dialogue and we kind of keep it pushing. And so I'm sitting next to my wife, JJ Gucci, on and on and on. And I can tell by their little, they didn't show it a lot of it because obviously they got to edit and do what they do. But I could tell they was gearing up, right? Like you could tell, you know, like the mumbling, the other stuff. And I also know the other, we had two, I guess we call them castmates from Huntsville. Well, they're not castmates, but from other shows, they were there in attendance as well. I could tell their energy had spiked up. Like it was almost like they were showing off. And I was saying, oh, okay. I said, okay. Because Dustin, Jazz, Los, you know when somebody's 100 with you, right? You know when you just know, right? It doesn't have to be, you know, right? You know when somebody's perking up or trying to show off in front of somebody. And so when we're going through our back and forth, I was like, oh, this is different. This isn't our normal whatever, you know, especially Cliff standing up talking about fuck you. You ain't got money. You know, you a small fish in a big pond. I'm Jesus. And I'm like, bro, you ain't never talked to me like that. Not one-on-one. I've been right next to you. I sat next to you. That ain't never been your energy. The most you've ever said was, Willie, I don't like you. Okay, what's next? That's the most you ever said. So for you to do that in your establishment in front of my wife, in front of people I don't know, on my side of other people, I'm like, oh, y'all think I'm fish food. I said, okay, let's get this shit popping. And so there's this narrative running around that my wife and I showed up with 15 people. We showed up, first of all, it's a public event. My wife's family lives around the corner. I showed up with my niece and my sister-in-law. There was no 15 people. There was no entourage. There was none of that. And so I get frustrated because there's this running narrative that we showed up with a posse. I'm 6'3", 300 something pounds. If I wanted to tear shit up, I don't need women under 5'5" to tear shit up.
Whoever that was in the pink had the heart of a 6'6", 335 pounds.
Okay, so
Who
first
was
of
that
all,
in the pink, Willie? Because whoever that was,
I'm gonna keep it a buck. So this is what happened.
because we want to know if she was in the group Prime Mob.
Baby.
You know, we want to know if she was Nuck, because she gave Nuck If You Buck, and she did
ride or die
like Willie.
down.
Willie, she was sitting on ready, standing on ready. What was who sent her, Willie?
But that's the thing.
What was going on, child?
Think about it. Nobody sent it, right? Tamara announced the thing on the radio.
Oh,
it
so
was
it's
public. She talked to my aunt. She's like, TT, I hear this thing going on around the corner from the crib. Can I come? She's like, yeah, it's public. You're gonna be, the neighborhood's gonna be here. Why not? Why wouldn't she invite her niece? Why wouldn't she invite her sister? By the way, who showed up in flip-flops? So if you really coming with smoke, you think we all would know what the hood look like. If you're gonna show up, you ain't showing up with slides. You showing up with at least a hoodie and some shit ready to get it popping, right? And so fast forward, when I told Cliff to suck my nuts, my bells, when he stood up, I had smooth bottoms on. I didn't know what his intentions was, but you wasn't gonna rush me. I already know what time it was. So I stood up, and because we were on a platform, I stepped down. And one thing about me, man, bro, and this is what pisses me off, and this isn't and Los, you weren't there. My niece is she's a rider, man. She's a motherfucking rider. And when I look down the store next to me, I realized like it's on. It was on. It just wasn't, because one thing I know about her, she don't talk it, she walk it. You know what I mean? And she would crack a motherfucker quick. And after looking at everything that transpired, I don't feel proud about that scene.
Yeah,
I'm very embarrassed about that because as a man, my main goal is to protect the women in my life, between my wife, my sister, and everybody. And I was off my post because it doesn't matter if Glenn and I did squabble. I left 3 women vulnerable that was under my protection. And so I cringe at that because everything that did transpire in Toast, it bled outside. And that's when it got really crazy. And I watched 8 girls jump on my niece, or at least try, right? And one of the girls turned to her like, when I see you, bitch, I'm gonna kill you. And that's all because and I tell my wife this: when somebody controls your emotions, they control you. And I let my emotions get the best of me. And I know I have enough mental agility, enough wit to slap both of those dum-dums down, right? I know that. But I let my emotions go to a place that I left them exposed. Even with me living here, if there was retaliation, now they're exposed. Because at the end of the day, man, and Los, you weren't there. Once we kind of got everything calmed down, I was across the street and I was looking at Toast, and I was watching these people spill out this restaurant. And I was watching people go to their cars, and I'm watching people with intent in their eyes who don't play TV. They don't play TV. And so I'm looking at it like, man, Willie, you dropped the ball here. I blame me because I felt like I got to protect my wife at all costs. I got to protect them at all costs. And here we are doing exactly what I didn't want to do when I got the opportunity to join the show. I didn't want to be an example of this, right? And so I was embarrassed. I don't feel good about this. I didn't watch, I haven't watched it. I've seen it one time, and I'm not proud of myself. First of all, it's the maddest I've ever seen my wife. And I've done a lot of dumb shit. That was the maddest I've ever seen to tear shit up. And I was frustrated, man, because, I have Dustin, you know, and Jazz, I have a foundation, man. I talk to kids time after fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is 30 seconds to ruin your life. And I was an exact example of what I tell kids not to be. And that pains me, man, because now that allows those kids who are hard to get to, well, Mr. Cologne, this is you. So what do you tell? You let your emotions get the best of you because of what? Because of some name calling? And I did feel disrespected. I felt like they were coming at me. And I did feel like my back was pinned against the wall. And you're not going to embarrass me in front of my wife. You know what I mean? And I try to paint the picture at this. I have an establishment. If I was to invite them in my establishment and whatever we're celebrating, and I make it solely about disrespecting them in my bar, I expect them to have the same type of retaliation. Like, you invited me here for this bullshit?
I get that.
So I don't feel good about it because one thing, my wife, who I love to death, she's putting in the work, man. She cares about Jackson. Whether we're on the show or not, we're talking to law enforcement. She has the Ferris Forest Street Festival 2 years in a row where she brought in David Banner, Shaka from DTP, Dr. Jackie. She's exploiting Black businesses within this city. You know, this isn't a storyline. I watch this woman, as much as my passion is football and sports, I watch this woman go sleepless nights trying to bring something to Jackson from a sense of positivity. You know, we're walking into rooms talking to state officials. We're walking into talking to the chief of police. We're walking to people who have impact within our community, and I showed that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not happy with it. I'm upset about it. And I felt like, you know, people want to give me and my wife validation for standing on business. I don't feel like I stood up for myself, sure. But I dropped the ball because my goal at the end of the day is to make sure my wife and my family get home safely, unscratched. And that situation was 5 minutes from being on the 5 o'clock news. And it's all because I control my emotions.
I think that's
right. I know I'm stronger than that.
It's great of you to say that. I think when we watch TV, we watch reality TV, we're looking for some level of drama, right? Like, that's why we tune in. But to your point, this stuff has real world implications. There will people come in there that don't care about the cameras. They don't care that you guys are on TV. And like you said, it takes 30 seconds to ruin everything. So I love that you are saying that. And yeah, like I said, we got excited as viewers. But now hearing you talk about it, you're right. That is your place as a man, is to protect your family. You felt like they weren't protected. You left them vulnerable. I just really appreciate you saying that and really taking accountability for, you know, wanting to stand up for yourself, but also realizing like you may have taken it a little too far and let it go a little further.
Well, I think I'd taken it. I felt like I had to say what I had to say because a lot of times when you see me on camera, I'm jokey or I throw shots and I kind of pivot. You know, Glenn and Cliff, like my biggest issue with Glenn is I don't see Glenn when he's with Cliff. When you put me and JJ together, you acknowledge us as two individuals, right? And when I have conversations with Glenn, I see the man, and I appreciate the man, a 9-to-5 man who cares about his son and his family, and I applaud that. But when you put them together, I don't see him, and that frustrates me. As far as Cliff, like I said, when Cliff's sober and he's right-minded, he's easy to talk to for the most part. He actually is a quirky personality, and he's smart-lipped. But I kind of get it. I like dry humor. But overall, man, I don't have no ill will towards those brothers. I'm more disappointed in myself because I know better. I know what responsibilities. Just like Carlos wears that crown, I wear a big crown. And at the end of the day, for me to possibly put my wife and my family in jeopardy, and knowing I got 2 babies to get home to, I'm better than that. I got to be better than that.
So Willie, Glenn was legitimately offended by the jokes that you made in your interview scenes last season when he was performing a rap song for Letitia. That offended him.
Yeah.
Okay. I was surprised by that because I thought that the rap thing was like a hobby for him, and I didn't think that it was a serious, you know, venture for him. I thought we all were watching that under the same, you know, pretense. But he actually legitimately expressed to you that he was offended by that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And that was the start of that conflict.
I'm sorry.
I think he felt like people, like he said it. He said he felt like people were playing in his face. He felt like people were like tapping on the shoulder, like, "Hey, good job." And at the same time, he's reading social media and all the backlash. But I've always been consistent. I didn't like the rap. I don't like the person. You know what I mean? Shit, people don't like music all the time. So I didn't think much of it. And that's really it.
And listen, the reason why I want to make sure you were brought on to Willie is because, you know, I wanted you to be able to address things in real time. What people know is that this Friday, so I know Christmas is Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Is it Thursday?
It's Wednesday.
Okay. Christmas is Wednesday, and I know a lot of people think like, you know, shows are on break. You will see part 1 reunion this Friday, December 27th of Belle Collective. And then the next Friday, you will see part 2 of the Belle Collective reunion as well. Willie and the men have their own segment because this was a very important conversation that I wanted to have with just the guys.
Right.
Because, and Willie, I think you can agree to this. When the men are with each other, it's a whole different energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you know, it was intentional for me to make sure that these Black men were able just to have a conversation where they were able to address things head on. And I'm not going to give anything away, but what I will say is it was a very important dialogue. And there was a lot of accountability that was taking place. You see Willie is doing it tonight in terms of, listen, the beauty of reality television too is this, and this is the reason why I always take up for just not my stars, but I take up for the genre in itself, is no one's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at yourself, we've all done stupid stuff. We all done stuff we wish we could not have done. What bothers me is, look, I know when you guys are on television, you're constantly judged, and you're judged for an action that happened in the moment. And that's why I appreciate Willie saying, like, look, I take responsibility for my actions. My job at the end of the day is to protect my wife and my children. And regardless of who started it, who finished it, I love the fact, Willie, that you said tonight, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you have to go home to that. And you're working daily with your wife, trying to make sure to really bring things not only to Jackson, but in terms of your state of New York and New Jersey too. So, again, I appreciate you for acknowledging that. And Willie gets more into it about that scene, but also just in terms of like when men Jones on each other or when they joke with each other. And like Dustin was asking, like, was Glenn really that mad? The beauty of the men talking amongst themselves is I always thought the men's jokes were funny, but you never know when someone takes things personally. So there's a lot of surprises that comes out of the reunion.
Yeah, like I hear you say that, but I grew up in the locker room, right? I grew up in the locker room, we're all alphas. You had to be able to stand up, either take it or tell somebody, nah, you crossed the line. And if you felt like they were still disrespecting you, then there's another level you have to take it to. So I've been in the locker room since I was 8 years old with my dad. And I've watched men go back and forth with jokes. The problem is I'm a firm believer in body language. You know when you're taking it too far. And I felt like there was moments in that scene where, because I felt like Glenn knew me, or at least we were cool, he just said, listen, nah, we cool. Like, you know, there's moments to like, nah, this is getting a little out. As a man, I felt like I'm taking it somewhere that that's not my intentions. I'm gonna say, nah, my bad, homie. We bullshitting. Let's party. Let's celebrate. You know, there's ways of getting around that. He didn't do it. And so, and what's wild about it too is that whole suck my nuts, Belle, comment was directed at Cliff, right? But it was Glenn that jumped back. But when me and Glenn got into it, guess who's running? Cliff. So my thing is like, if y'all too bowdy, then be bowdy together. You know what I mean? Because I know if I'm jumping in for my man and my man's not standing next to me ready to go, then where's your loyalty at? And I've always told Glenn, I was like, man, your admiration, your loyalty to this guy, I think you got to be careful, dog. And I've always tried to talk life into Glenn. I've always been like, yo, dog, like you sure where you sure about your friendship? And I've had those conversations with him, and he's always like, man, I'm on my own, man, and da da da. Cool, only you can be the judge of that. But I'm just telling you how I see it. And so, and Cliff running with this narrative that my wife is jealous of Latrice. Lord, please stop, just please. Letitia, whoever that I heard that comment, please stop.
I think you're speaking to something that is really relevant and very important, right? That people take note of and discuss, right? I'm a Black man of a certain age, and what you speak of, finding that balance of like you know what I'm saying? I'm a certain age. I come from Flint, Michigan. And I occupy certain intersections in life. I'm a gay man. I'm a black man. You know what I'm saying? I work in entertainment and media. I occupy a lot of intersections in life where I'm faced with a lot of bullshit, and I have had to defend myself for many, many years. So much so that I built up what what I know now through years and years of work and therapy to be an unreasonable defensiveness, right? That I should have been more aware of people's feelings, and now that I am, I work hard to kind of manage that, to be more attuned to people's feelings. Maybe it was something that triggered Glenn in whatever way, and you know, for whatever reason made him react that way. We don't know that unless he tells us. So you were in that space to do your thing, you know, but at the viewers, we don't know. So we just see y'all doing y'all's thing, you know, and having the banter that typically people have with one another, and then things just go left. But it hit something hit right there for him. We don't know what it was, but it must have hit something.
He told you what it was, because I told him to suck my bells, right? He felt like that was disrespectful, and he leans with the line like, well, you know, you can say that in Jersey, but you can't say that here in Jackson. Like, first of all, wherever I set my feet, I'm comfortable. I ain't never turned. I ain't never looked back for nobody. I ain't never, like, I don't move like that. I'm solid in my skin. So I knew what I was saying. I was saying it because I meant it.
You know what's so crazy though? I was talking about the comments about his performance. That's what I was talking about. That hit something for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
as far as that energy that showed up in that scene, and that's what we don't know. Like, what was it that made a regular joke, you know, that keeps the show interesting and the interview scenes potent? What was it that triggered him to make him, you know, react that way regarding that comment? We don't know. So,
well, you will find out at the reunion, though.
Okay, good.
Because guess what?
Good.
I asked the questions and I can talk about it because it aired. But Willie, before I let you go, because I know it's Christmas week, and you know, I thank you for taking time out to speak to us this evening. Tell your wife Aikisha I said hello to the children.
Well, she's right here. She wants to talk.
Oh Lord.
What's up, Aikisha?
Hello.
Listen, Willie. Why am I not surprised? Hi, Aikisha.
Hello, everybody.
How cute are you? I love your ears.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'm trying to get this house ready for these kids for the holidays.
Well, Aikisha, I got one last question for Willie. Okay, can he have his own shot, Aikisha? He didn't interrupt your interview with me.
Yes, he can. You can answer his question, and I'm gonna say what I have to say, and that's it.
Well, I have no questions for you. I love you, baby. Listen, Willie, the most important question of the night. You can say that, Aikisha. Come on, baby.
I'm letting you answer your question, boo.
Okay, you know, I love you so, Aikisha. How to Cologne, baby. Okay.
That's right.
Willie, everybody wants to know this one pressing question. Why did you cut off your locks?
Oh, man. It was time, Carlos, man. It was time. I sleep a lot cooler. I can move my damn neck. You know, I think the biggest struggle was I YouTube people cutting their locks, and a lot of people cry in the chair. They kind of have this breakdown. And a lot of people were like, listen, you carry your trauma in your hair. And which is true. I had lost my mother. I had lost my uncle. And I recently just lost my aunt in the last 6 years. On top of 4 years, right? On top of getting married and, you know, and just a lot. It was just time, man. And I felt like I've been stewing on it for a long time, but I had to kind of just say, you know what, it's time for a new look, new change. And I'm happy about it. I'm happy because it's necessary for me, because I got tired of sitting in the chair for 3 to 4 hours, getting it twisted, styled, shaped up. For 2 weeks, it's back to neutral. So, yeah, it was just time.
You like it, Aikisha? You like the, you know?
Yes, I love it. It's like getting a whole brand new man.
Ooh. So Aikisha, before I let you guys go, can you update us on everything going on with Ferris Street, your foundation, and all the many things you have going on?
Yes, I mean, it's all out there. The foundation's doing well. This is busy season for us. We just finished our Christmas in the Bronx, where we do a huge toy giveaway to Willie's community of the South Bronx at the NYCHA Classic Center, which is right in the projects where he was born and raised in Melrose Projects. We're getting ready for our HBCU College Fair. Also for our health fair that's going to be in Jackson, Mississippi. So Sophia and I are coming together to do the second annual health fair, and we have some panelists, and we're doing a brunch, and we are focusing on heart health, vascular health, and menopause health. And it's in February, so it's going to be amazing because so Gucci's mom died of a heart attack along with cancer. My mother died of massive heart attack. Her twin sister died of a heart attack. Willie's mom had a heart attack associated with lupus and lost her. And then her twin sister died in the beginning of the year. So we are really focusing on women's heart health, vascular health, and correlating how menopause associates with heart health. Yeah. So we're going to do that. And but anyway, I just wanted to step in. I am excited that Belle Collective has been picked up for another season. I got my pickup letter. And
I know that's right.
We were excited about that, and we want to congratulate Carlos, and we want to congratulate the show, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of the platform. But unfortunately, we will not be returned. So just wanted to say that the colognes are done. So thank y'all and Merry Christmas. And our attorney has sent a letter to the attorneys of Kingdom Reign. So just wanted to let y'all know, because I didn't want Carlos to find out any other way.
Well, listen, thank you so much for everything you brought to the show. You know, you have a friend in me, a family in me as well. And anything you guys need, let me know. And as you know, anytime you want to return, the door will always be open for you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Merry Christmas to everybody, and thank you.
Much love to your beautiful family.
You guys, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Monday night, y'all.
Was Monday Night Live. That was an exclusive.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the message this Monday. That was.
I'm gooped and gagged.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? How do I react? I didn't know if he. What? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, the funny thing is, this is a reality show. Carlos has built a beautiful empire following the reality, and what we just saw was the reality of that situation. So kudos to everybody, and Carlos is a consummate professional, as we see, and that's how we handled that with grace. And shout out to the Colognes, a beautiful family.
Yes,
we got a chance to get to know. Yeah.
Yes. No, they're a gorgeous family. They're great for the show, and they will be missed for sure.
Yeah.
So the thing about Monday Night Live is it's always full of surprises.
Yes, it
is. You like surprise?
Surprise, Carlos. Wait, that means there's a vacancy. Should I move to Jackson?
Would you ever?
Like, my dad is from Columbus, Mississippi. I mean, I have Mississippi blood. Like, let me know. I'll move over to Ferris Street.
Jasmine, I will take you on any reality show in the world. That's how much I love you.
I'm way too boring for it. I'm just joking.
No, please. Jasmine, you're a lot of things. Boring is not one of them on the docket. Trust and believe that. Okay, so let's get into Huntsville. Now, look, we have to talk about the episode. Did you guys catch up on it?
I did. I'm completely caught up. And damn, what an episode. That's
Dustin,
all I have to
where would you like to begin?
Yes, go ahead, Dustin, because I feel like you have a lot to get out.
I do, because everybody knows that as we've done commentary on these shows, I have been consistent with my declaration that I don't like no shit between the core six. I just don't like it. I felt like the truce that they called, that the ladies called, right, that trickled down and kind of bled through to the other relationships where they would have transparency with each other, sit down and be adults and talk about shit. I want to see them hold fast to that. And what I saw in tonight's episode just didn't seem like that's what that was. I thought that when Melody and Kimmy talked about the conversations that Melody had with some of the other cast members regarding Maurice's incident, the arrest, the DUI, the allegations of the lipstick, I didn't like seeing her and Kimmy not be able to communicate effectively in that setting. I felt like Kimmy was trying to be clear and kind of have a certain dialogue with Melody that Melody was resistant to, because Melody felt like she had already approached Kimmy to discuss this, and Kimmy was resistant in that conversation. I think Melody perceived Kimmy's inability to discuss some of the, you know, specific details related to the arrest as her kind of putting a wall up. And so Melody kind of, it seems that Melody felt like, well, I tried, you know, to come to you with it. And that was kind of her disposition, where she was resistant to continue the conversation. But it's a give and take. And in order to sustain relationships, we have to see a little bit more giving on both ends in order to make that move forward. So I really hope that after whatever we see at the reunion, and after the emotions have kind of settled from watching that those two ladies specifically can find a bridge, you know, to reconnect with each other, because that's one relationship. Melody and Letitia have had very, you know, real and blatant issues, tangible issues. Melody and Marsau have had their issues. Melody and Maurice have had conversations where they had to clear things up. But Melody and Kimmy, for the most part, up until now, we have seen them keep things at a certain level, right? They have not, you know, gone below a certain level. I didn't like seeing it because I really love both of them on this show. So I hope they figure it out. I did like the way the conversation ended when Melody said, you know, your feelings matter. This conversation matters. And you don't have to hear that from anybody else that I said this, anything else pertaining to these details moving forward. That's all you ask for at the end of the day, is the end result. But I would have liked to see a friendlier path to that if possible. As far as Marquez, a bunch of the same. You know what I'm saying? Sitting up, blaming everybody else for everything else that's going on. Is getting old and tired. I know Trisha is sick of it. And now we know why Trisha just be looking at motherfuckers in the scene like, now we know, because she has had it. How many conversations can you take? You know, it's just getting ridiculous at this point, because there's nothing to be said other than the fact that you left your family. Okay, if the relationship between Marquez and Trisha didn't work out, damn it, it didn't work out. But you abandoned your post as a present father, facilitating the lives of your children, and you left those responsibilities in the hands of another man who picked them up and did them well. Okay, Ken has showed himself to be nothing but a positive influence on them children's lives. Okay, they stopping you from your bullshit. That Trisha's son, who looked just like her, they have beautiful children, by the way, Trisha and Marquez. When her son walked over there and he said, "Dad, come on, man, why are you over there talking to him like that?" I don't have no kids, but if my son said some shit like that to me, that would have been a wake-up call. That would have rung my bell. You know what I'm saying? It made me be like, whoa, I'm tripping. Let me recalibrate all this shit up in here, starting with going to the store and getting some paper towel and cups and ice and liquor for that party that he was drinking up and enjoying, and had came in with his palms up and friends. So there's just some resetting that needs to take place with that whole Marquez, Trisha, Ken relationship. And I was watching the conversation go down the same way Ken's mama and sister was sitting at that table, like the camera cut right to them ladies sitting at their table. Just that's how I was watching it too.
Justin and his impressions always sits me over.
They're always so funny.
Jazz, it sits me over the edge. Okay, know that. Jasmine,
man.
What's your take? Because Jasmine has been in and out of Huntsville for a minute. So did you catch up on this episode?
I did. So, you know, I have major feelings about like the Melody and Kimmy conversation, and millimeters, please don't crucify me for this, right? Melody has a way of communicating with people. And I've said, Carlos, I think I've told you this, that I've picked up on this with her from like the very first season. Is very like nice, nasty, and passive aggressive, right? And so like it puts people on a defensive, because they're like, why? Like, you know that you did this thing or you said this thing, and now I'm like confronting you head on about it, and you're just sitting there like, right? Or you're dodging the question, and that makes people like really, really defensive. And so, like you said, Dustin, I didn't like to see where her and Kimmy were with that conversation, because I felt like Kimmy was really trying to get somewhere and Melody wasn't. It's the same thing with that conversation that Melody was having with Maurice. It was like really accusatory, but then when he was just like, why are you doing this? It was like, I'm not doing that. Like throwing the rock and hiding your hands within the same conversation. And it's just like, Mel, if you would just like take accountability in the moment, the conversations would go much smoother. I feel like that's how a lot of these conversations on Huntsville in particular get blown out of proportion, is because somebody within the conversation doesn't want to take accountability right in the moment, and it turns into something else. And so that's like what I witnessed. But I think that Mel, to her credit, she's gone through so much on this show. Like, she's been embarrassed beyond right. I would not wish what she's gone through on my worst enemy, right? Well, maybe my worst enemy, but she's been through
You hold
a
grudges,
lot.
Jazz.
Listen, I try not to, but my worst enemy,
Yeah, I
please.
don't give a damn.
all the drama, right? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, she's been through so much, and she's been embarrassed to no end on this show. I think that there's a little part of her, when it's someone else's turn to be embarrassed, there's like a little bit of like, okay, I like amplify this the way that my embarrassment has been amplified. And I'm not saying that she's a bad person. I think that's a very human reaction for somebody who's gone through the things that she's gone through. But that's like what I pick up a lot on with Mel. And so I know, like, when Maurice was talking about her getting her healing and stuff, he wasn't sincerely saying it. I really do feel like that's what I want from Mel. Like, I want her to truly like be healed of like everything and be able to have these people to lean on. Go ahead.
No, it's just so the Melody conversation is so interesting because it's such a nuanced conversation, right? I feel like we know what happened, right? Like, Martell cheated on Melody, publicly embarrassed her, told lies on the show, all that shit happened. And that was a very clear point in her. That was a very clear marker, timestamp in her life. I think that after that, people on the show may have attempted to exhibit some sort of fairness in the world, that they had to figure out how to still work with everybody. And I think that may have been received by her as some sort of betrayal. And when you've been wrong, blatantly wronged by somebody, and you see other people who have an opportunity to kind of take a side, but may not take it in a way that is egregious toward you or the other person, who sometimes people just seek neutrality and try to maintain it. Sometimes that can build up resentment. And we see Melody in situations where I wish that sometimes there would be a conversation where she would just say, look, when I went through all that shit with Martel, there was an opportunity for you to really hold me down and kind of identify his wrongdoing and support me. And I don't feel like you did it, and it hurt my feelings. And it is making it hard for me to show up fully in this friendship. That would clear up a whole lot of stuff. So I understand Melody, you know what I mean? And but as a viewer of the show, and as just a human being, grown ass man, sometimes you do have to bend a little bit when the sustainability of relationships is the focus, right? And that's why I appreciated the truce that the ladies called amongst each other. That's why I appreciated that conversation we saw when Melody went to the Scotts, to Letitia and Marsau, about the text that Martel sent her, attempting to create those problems. Melody went, they had a beautiful conversation, nullified the whole thing, and moved forward. So much so that Marsau said, I am so glad you came back here today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I just want to see more of that. And I know it's hard when you feel like somebody did you wrong and everybody's ignoring this wrong that was done to me. It's difficult to kind of usurp that with your own good sense, but sometimes you just have to. And that's why I hate seeing the core six argue, because they really could find that. They could find that connection again, but hell, the way things going now, you never know. You never know what's going to be next with them.
That's a beautiful point. There's a layer of transparency that needs to be present for all of them. Yeah, no, I love that. I love that point.
And on top of that, we do have additional episodes later this season that you guys will be able to catch up, and you'll be able to see some moments of rapport that I think the audience kind of wants to see. I mean, look, it's one of those things where, and I think it was Kimmy's episode where we talked about this. The interesting thing about reality TV is when you're filming a show in real time and episodes are airing while you're filming, it can sometimes present a bunch of challenges. That's just one example I want to give out of many, in terms of in the real time, you guys could maybe be at a great place, but once you see something air, then you're back to that place too. So I think, when you see this upcoming reunion, you'll be able to see them talk about things that and when I say to you, they really, really
Go there.
Oh, they go there with each other. They really, because the thing with the core 6 is they had I think a 5-year, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just say 3 to 5 years. I think it's 5 though. A 3 to 5 year friendship before we started filming. So they have a long history on, their journey before cameras were presented. So I will say this now, and I've always said this in every reunion. There is this unspoken, I'm saying this now based before what happened, recently, but there've always been like this level of respect they have with each other. They can go at it and throw shade and all that stuff, but I always felt that fundamentally there was always room for love there. So again, keep watching. You'll be able to see some of that. And Love and Marriage Huntsville also is on this Saturday. So I know people are having a break. So as you sip your eggnog, honey, make sure you tune in Friday to Belle Collective Power Reunion, and make sure you also tune in Saturday for another episode of Huntsville. And I have a surprise for the raindrops.
More surprises?
Think about Monday. Listen, that's the reason why you guys have to watch Monday Night Live in real time. It's a live show. You never know what's going to happen. And that's the beauty of this platform. Things happen with it. You deal with it. So a surprise for the raindrops. You guys have been asking for this for many, 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 many weeks. And I could not do an episode with Jasmine and Dustin without talking about Potomac and Married to Medicine. So this is another gift that I'm giving you guys, as this is our final Monday Night Live in 2024. So I wanted to give y'all some gifts. We are going to discuss Potomac and Married to Medicine.
Yeah.
Look, I'm trying.
I guess we should have some heart-shaped balloons. We should release heart-shaped balloons right now, right? 8 of them.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
Yeah. Okay. So let's get into Potomac. And I want to start off by saying this first about Potomac.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you people have been trying to read me as it pertains to Mia. Okay. Some of you can first of all, Jasmine, why did you get your microphone ready? Okay. Some of y'all are trying to throw me shade, talking about what I say to you, Jasmine and Dustin. You know I get blamed for everything. I mean, it's part of being Carlos King.
Heavy
Whenever
is the head.
happens, heavy is the head that wears the crown, and God bless me with the last name King for a reason. So let's get into it. And by the way, this is the most views that we've got in a single live. We are at 3,500 live viewers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Hey guys.
So hi guys, and I can't wait to see all the reports that's happening tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you to all who have joined. Okay, I've been seeing some of y'all trying to read me about Mia. Carlos hyped Mia up. Thinking she was a star of the show, and she failed miserably. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I would like to say this, and I want to hear from Dustin and Jasmine. I stand by Mia being a star. Mm-hmm. I stand by Mia be lying, right? Mm-hmm. The name that I gave her, that she ran with it and did wonderful things with that name. The thing is this, when you are somebody that is the most talked about on the show, and we'll get into the specifics, right, tonight. Okay. I wanted to say overall, Mia is exactly what I said she was. Because the only person, and Jasmine and Dustin, y'all tell me if I got this wrong. The only person we're talking about when it comes to Potomac is Mia, whether it's good or bad, right? Whether it's good or bad. Mia is the person we're talking about. So my accuracy in saying that, listen, she's the one that people talk about, again, whether it's good or bad, and we'll get into that. But without Mia, nothing would be happening. Just like I said the same thing about Tamara on OC. Like her, love her. Without Tamara, nothing would be happening. And again, I don't excuse things that Tamara's done. And I'm not excusing things that Mia has done. We're about to get into it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say that. But I want Jasmine to go first with this Potomac episode and just your overall thoughts. So first things first, what are your thoughts on Mia Thornton this season, Jazz?
I think to your point, she is the most talked about, but not in a good way. Like I leave every episode and I'm just like, what is she doing here? Like what are we doing right now? I where do I start? Right? Mia do be lying. Mia, I don't like what she's doing with Gordon and his mental illness. It's always like blown out of proportion. She's using it as a crutch for her very bad behavior right now. She's using it as a crutch for her just being confused in what she wants to do. I hate that her children are involved. I mean, these are sentiments that everyone has shared. What I noticed in this last episode, I'm so glad that Wendy clocked it and called it out, because this is Giselle and Mia. Like, Giselle, what did you? I was waiting for you to really like give Mia some fever, and you softballed that, her talking about your children and not being them not being perfect and divulging information to us that we weren't even privy to as an audience about them trying to sneak boys in. Like she was trying to like out her daughters for being fast or something like that. You have more smoke and fever for Candace or for Mia, not Mia. What's the child's name? Wendy and Candace. Okay. For making faces that you couldn't even confirm were being made about your child. But you softball Mia. I don't like it. I don't know. I get to this point all the time with Potomac. You know this. We've talked about this. We get to a point in the season where I'm just like, what am I doing here? I keep tuning in because something about it keeps bringing me back. But I don't like the way that it makes me feel after I stop watching it. This season has been a lot better than past seasons. I'll say that there's been a little bit of a lightness to it, but Mia, for me, again, she can go. She can go. And I don't care that you think without her, nothing would be happening in the season. We would be able to see other storylines. We would be able to see other things. We will get to, I don't know, Karen will give us something. Mia can go for me.
But let me ask you this before Dustin gets in. What is it that Mia's doing to where you think she should go? Now, listen, it's one of the things where I always say this to people. It's one thing that, okay, you had a bad season, right? Or like, I don't like some of the things you're doing this season. But Jazz, explain to me and the audience, why do you think she should like leave the show or be removed from the show? Like, what is it about Mia where you are just going beyond just saying, okay, girl, I don't mess with you, but no, you're saying like Mia has to go?
I don't say she has to go. She can go. Like if she was not coming back next season, I would not ask for her to come back. I wouldn't think about it. I don't like what she's doing with Gordon's mental health. Like that's really rubbing me the wrong way, and I feel like that's being like downplayed a little bit in the grand scheme of the conversation around Mia. It feels really insincere. He's in mania. Like, I don't know. I can't fully articulate to you why she can go for me, right? And I think maybe that's, to your point, why she's a great character for this show, because I just feel like she can go, but I can't really tell you why. I'm just not a fan of it. She has her moments where I think she brings some comedic timing, but it's not enough for me to like sit here and say I'm a fan, that she's essential to the show. I don't feel like she's essential. I feel like there's a way to exploit her story that's making her seem like an essential figure, but she is not an essential figure of the cast, and that's just how I feel.
Okay. Dustin, your thoughts?
Nice house, no furniture on the inside. That's what I think when it comes to me. And now here's my thing. Yes, you can do something that is conversation worthy. You know what I'm saying? But where is the fundamental value of it? Mia is not funny. She says things sometimes that, you know, are in beat or in step with whatever the story was at that time that are humorous, but she ain't funny just naturally. She don't be in her confessional saying shit to make you laugh. We don't believe nothing about anything that she says beyond her just lying like the peculiar odd nature of what's going on in her life is less than believable. I hate that blonde hair on her with a passion. I think she looks so much better with dark hair. I do think she's a beautiful woman, but she dresses cheap. And sometimes that affects your perception of these people when we're watching the fucking Housewives, right? We want to see something that is aspirational or whatever. Look at somebody like Wendy, right? There's a lot to say. Let's dial back to what you said, Jasmine, about Giselle and her reaction to Wendy speaking negatively about her daughters versus the way that she has reacted to Wendy in the past. Giselle still can't stand Wendy. They're obviously, which we all knew, that's no surprise. They're obviously playing nice to get along for the sake of the show. And thank God for that, because that is what we need from people who are shows like this. There has to be a level of respect that you have and that motivates you to invest in the continuation of the show, right? But Giselle can't stand Wendy. She never liked Wendy. She was only friendly with Wendy because Wendy sided with her against Monique in season 5, sitting on that couch with that leather jacket on her shoulders, telling Monique, I don't see remorse in you. All of that is why Giselle liked Wendy at the time. The moment they had a disagreement, it was clear that she never gave a damn about Wendy in the first place. And this week, we saw that rear its head when Wendy, as she should have, made note of the difference in reaction and reception. And Giselle cut her off at that table. That wasn't no edit, natural in the moment session. Right, Jasmine? She cut her off and said, you know, well, I see, you and I were not speaking. We didn't that. Like, it was very dismissive and very much in the tone of being reminded that I still don't fuck with you like that. You're just playing nice. Wendy has always had so much to offer this show, but she's always been handicapped by her thirst level to be connected to people that she liked on the show for whatever reason. Her and Giselle are sorority sisters. There's a lot of alignment there. And Wendy just, I think, was attracted to what Giselle presented as an anchor, a formidable anchor on this cast. And she was thirsty for approval from her, from Robin, from Ashley, from all of them. Ashley, she kind of went back and forth with the 4 degrees thing in the beginning. That was a cute little, you know, tete-a-tete, but that's not anything substantive, right? Now the tides have changed. Wendy has a strong marriage. Her and her husband have faced controversy and accusations on this show and survived them. Wendy has gotten her coveted opportunity to read, you know what I'm saying, the cast members on the show and be, you know, celebrated for it. Whitney has advanced to kind of a leadership role on the show because she has all the elements fundamentally to make her comfortable in the cast. And that's why we're seeing a lighter-hearted Wendy this season. She's laughing. She's focusing on the shit in her family. She's not focusing on the drama amongst the ladies. It's different here. Giselle, you don't care about Wendy. And so the minute that she called it out like she should have, you reminded her that Mia was your friend, which she wasn't. Mia and Giselle wasn't never friends. When have you ever seen Giselle and Mia outside of the show? Carlos, you always say that's the line, right? That's the meter. If we see them hanging out outside the show, we know they really friends, right? You ain't seen Giselle and Mia, you haven't, but they decided.
No, Giselle and Mia, no. I did see a pic. No, because Mia talked about this in my interview. When Mia was going through with Gordon, Giselle had a emancipation of Mia like dinner.
Yeah, some you have for people you don't fuck with all the time. You know what I'm saying? Some you have when you want to make note, you know, when you want to make highlight that you're there for someone in that moment and you have an event and for the moment.
You don't think it was genuine?
No. Heavenly and Jackie are married to medicine. We'll get that later, but they're friends. They hang out, they talk. Robin and Giselle were friends, you know what I'm saying, from the show. I don't think they was cool like that before the show. But when they started this show together, think about it. That's a life-changing experience, and you build bonds with the people that you share that experience with. They were really friends. Giselle and Mia, they ain't went nowhere. Giselle probably don't even know Mia's kids' names she probably have to think about it. Like, what's the Joshua? You know, you can hear her now. You're like trying to think about it. So it's just not a real relationship, and I think that sometimes bleeds through. So, but y'all know what we got to talk about. Oh, one more thing. And Jasmine, I'm so glad. This is what I want to talk about. Ashley. Let's talk about the Ashley Darby of it all. First of all, you are not, and this is what irritates me about Ashley, right? You ain't into that boy that you got filming on this show, not one bit. And stop trying to pull that wool over our eyes, so to speak, by saying, I'm really, he kissed me and I just, I'm into that man. No, you're not. You don't give a damn about that boy that you got filming with you on this show. And that lack of authenticity is what the problem is with Ashley on this show. Why aren't you filming on the floor of your closet in your bedroom crying about how scared you are about what's next for you? Why haven't you told us Michael Darby did this? This is why our marriage broke up. This is what we're going through. Why aren't you being transparent about that? But just giving us just I'm dating and it's a hot guy and it's a lot. That's not enough for me. That's not enough for me. That ain't enough for me, and I don't believe it's enough for either one of y'all either. I don't. So.
It is absolutely not, but I think we've learned that from Ashley. She's never going to give us the real tea about where she's at with her relationship. There's no way you go from a man with means who is moneyed to the pool boy. I know he's not literally a pool boy, but that's what is given. And yeah, from the kiddie pool to the dating pool, she's not diving into the dating pool. She's lying about that. She's not being truthful about that, but she stopped being authentic about her relationship a really long time ago. So I don't look to Ashley for that. I pay attention to her because she's there, but everything with her is just kind of like, okay, this is for this scene. There's a big chatter about like Stacey renting TJ for the show. Ashley's doing the same thing with this Jack Harlow guy. So it is what it is. Yeah, but I've stopped looking to Ashley for authenticity a really long time ago. She's just a beautiful girl.
Listen, beautiful girl. I do think this. I think when it comes to Ashley, and I said this before and I'll say it again, I think Ashley joined the show at a time where it was like fun, I think it's been revealed. I'm not saying anything that hasn't been revealed publicly. Ashley actually was going to be, I think she auditioned for Blood, Sweat, and Heels, right? She auditioned for that. So I'm only bringing that up to say Ashley obviously had a desire to get on reality television, and she successfully got on the show. And what we can't do, not that we're doing it, I'm talking about globally, is acknowledge that at one point in time, Ashley brought some amazing moments to the show. She was necessary in the sense of like Ashley, and she'll say this herself. Ashley is funny and messy, and she loves being funny and messy. And when it came to Michael Darby, there was so much wealth of just like insanity that came along with their relationship, what he was doing or not doing, all of those things. And I do think what we're seeing now is Ashley just seems to be checked out. And when I say checked out, I mean, I don't think the love she had for the show at the beginning is still there. And I think she shows up and she makes sure she does something so that she can earn her check. But I don't see the love of the show in Ashley's eyes anymore. One of my raindrops said she was on Say Yes to the Dress. Listen. My raindrops do their research, baby. Listen.
All journalists.
We all journalists. Hey, Portia. Get in where you fit in, right? I just don't think she loves it anymore. I don't think she enjoys it anymore. I think she's there just to be there. And that's what I see when I look at Ashley.
She's there to get her singing career off the ground.
Jasmine,
where is it going once it leave the ground?
Oh Lord!
Remember she was singing at the GNA event.
They said, "Where's the auto tune?" I think Wendy said, "Where's the auto tune?"
Oh yeah, that's
her next act.
I'm just over that. I think, and Mia, back to the Mia of it all, like just the lack of authenticity, I believe, is the problem. There, you can have a willingness to, be transparent, but that can only go so far when what are you being transparent about? It's just no substance there, And on a show like The Real Housewives of Potomac specifically, where we were introduced to these women where they were having spats related to a code of etiquette, You know what I'm saying? So to go from that to Mia and Ink, you know what I'm saying, and the conversations that they having over them children's head like that, I just think it is a shocking departure from what the show is really about. And I would love to see Mia really confront the real shit that's going on in her life in a real way, not crying for the sake of crying so that you can say you had a vulnerable moment, but actually, I'll give you a prime example. There was a huge difference in what we saw from Mia when they showed her on that phone after Gordon had taken those kids removed them from the care of the nanny and took them wherever he took them, across state lines to wherever, 4 hours away, whatever. That was real. When you watch Mia looking at that phone and she was like, I'm so mad, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just, as long as my kid's okay. That was some real shit. That wasn't no manufactured, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna share this because it's salacious and this can be my story. That was authentic, and there's a huge difference in the way that feels as a viewer and what it adds to what pertaining to the way that we view the people on this cast. We want more of that. If Mia can do that, if she can give us honest reactions about the real shit that's going on in her life, then bring it on. And I'm never the person that says they need to be fired. I think that's lame, and I actually think it's not our place as viewers to make those decisions, right? These are the stories we're presented, so let's just have opinions about what we've been presented with. And that being said, I think that there's time for some recalibration when it comes to the way that Mia is moving on this show, starting with her friendship with Jacqueline. What's going on? Because it feels like they used to go together and they have a bond that, you know, has superseded the changes that have occurred in their lives, rather, and now they just stick together. Mia was making fake laughing noises while Jacqueline was doing that sorry, piss poor, sorry ass attempt for a moment by bringing those balloons to Karen's party, right? Mia was laughing. No, it wasn't funny. Nobody was laughing with you. It was nothing funny about it. And that's the shit that I feel like is a waste of time when it comes to this show. Mia, you're wasting our time going out, having a conversation. When we get to the point where the scenes that make the cut are Jacqueline standing in the street, walking from the driveway to the street and saying, well, now we're in the street, I can stand here. She doesn't own this. And they stand there when that's what make the cut, there's a problem. And you might not have a valuable contribution to the threads of the story of this show if that's all you got. So I'm sorry, you know what I mean? I just think there needs to be some reassessing done when it comes to Mia and her goddamn friends. There needs to be some sort of adjustment.
Get Jacqueline off my screen yesterday, but I think she's so late. She's so late. She is so late to me. Like every time she's on, and you can tell production also thinks she's late because look at the edit that they're giving her.
Oh my God, yes, Jasmine.
They don't see it for her.
Jasmine.
They don't. I'm just saying.
Why is she late though, Jasmine late?
It's not funny. It's not giving anything. It's there for Mia's support and to give her backup when she needs it. That's all it's giving for me. Like if Jacqueline was like funny on her own, or if she could stand on her own, if she was even bringing us really good fashions, something.
Oh my God. Let's not talk about that romper she had on at the Love Lagoon when she showed up. Okay. Y'all remember Dots? There used to be a store called Dots where you could get shit like that. I'm just gonna say that. And that's what it looked like where she came from. Why are you even and shout out to Kit K. Kiana said that in the confessional. You could have at least showed up looking sexy. Like you showing up like this, doing this. It was just a failed attempt at a moment. And that's why people need to stick to the intention of their place on this cast. You cannot try to make a moment. You have to have honest reactions and have a real relevance to whatever is going on with the story. You cannot do dumb shit because it fails just like that. Bringing them balloons and 8 citations. There's nothing funny about that. Nothing. It's
the way you're imitating her, maybe it's the delivery. Like, I think
crazy.
Speaking of reassessing, though, like you mentioned with Mia, I actually had an epiphany as we're sitting here and we're conversing about this, and I think I need to do some reassessing as a viewer. Like, what do I want from these people? Because like we can talk about them not being authentic And then when they might be being authentic, right? To me, as credit, maybe this Gordon thing is her reality and it's real.
That's true.
But then she's being authentic and it still isn't enough for me, right? So I'm not saying I'm speaking for every reality TV fan. I am speaking for myself though. Maybe I need to reassess and reevaluate like how I want these people to show up and like what I'm expecting from reality TV actors. Because at the end of the day, all they owe me is entertainment. And like I need to just find the entertainment in it. You know what I mean? I think to the point of Potomac, actually all the reality TV girls and guys and days, right? People on reality TV now are very like hyper aware of everything. Like there's fandoms, they know that people are going to react to them. If they do the right thing, they're in the good graces. If they do the wrong thing, it's a war zone every time they log into social media, and no one wants to be on the wrong side of that. So they all do these things where they want to be the fan favorite. So they want to have these moments. They create these manufactured moments, like bringing 8 balloons for 8 citations. And they don't want to show the real things that are going on in their lives, because if we don't agree with it as viewers, it's vitriol, right? And so I think as a viewer, I need to take a step back and reassess what I'm actually expecting from these people. And I think
That's
it's just entertainment.
That's a good question you raised, though. And what is interesting, and I want to cook with this too, you know, there's a couple of things you said that I want to address. Number one, when reality first started, right? So let's go back to like 2000. I started reality TV doing the first season of Atlanta Housewives, right?
Okay.
So prior to that, OC already aired, and New York City just wrapped production, but it didn't air yet, right? So I want to say 2005 is when the Real Housewives, or 2006. One of those years is when the Real Housewives of Orange County came on. So prior to that, you have Flavor of Love. But the focal point was obviously Flavor Flav. And then Tiffany Pollard became like this surprise breakout star. But you didn't have to dive into her personal life. She came in like, child, let me get this man and check all these girls, right? So when reality started becoming more about your personal lives, right? Even on the Real World, they were stuck in a house together and had to navigate being a part of each other's lives. You didn't go home with Tammy Roman. You know what I mean?
Right.
You focus on Tammy Roman inside this house, and that's the only thing you knew about Tammy Roman, right? As an example. When Atlanta Housewives first came on board, I remember the first week of filming. So the first week of filming Atlanta Housewives, is when Nene was not allowed in Sheree's house. This is the first week of filming, right? And it was like, what show is this? Because the reactions and everything else were super duper real. And Sheree admitted later on my podcast, hey, exclusive, on my podcast that, yeah, she definitely did not put Nene's name on the list because she did not want Nene in her house, because in real life, she said, I don't care if there are cameras here. In real life, this woman would not be allowed in my house, so she won't be in my house. That was a real moment. It wasn't, social media wasn't out back then. So I think what happened with reality is, let's have a real conversation. What happened with reality television, which is why, Jasmine, you raised a good point in terms of what am I supposed to not like what I'm seeing, or am I supposed to accept it and say that's that person, let's move on? I think what's happening nowadays is people join reality TV for the wrong reason. A lot of people join reality TV for a quick fame, right? Fame quickly. And a lot of them join it for the sole purpose of like, I'm gonna make something quick, get my name out there and keep it pushing. And then there's a lot of them too who come in with these preconceived notions of, I know who I want to be. I know how I'm going to act. I know exactly what I'm going to bring. And they don't allow themselves to be real. And last, but most importantly, thank you. I'm just about to get there, Rain. My raindrops are the best, by the way. We all have the same mind, right? Social media, and I'm going to say this, social media has been a gift to all of us. You know, I was able to meet Jasmine that way. You know, me and Dustin were able to know each other that way. I will never, ever negate the power of social media, past, present, or future. It's amazing, and it's not going anywhere. Well, TikTok allegedly is in January, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day.
Cheers.
social media commentary has ruined the reality star.
Yeah.
Social media commentary has ruined the reality star. And when I say that, what I'm saying is a couple of things have happened. And y'all ain't got to believe me. I don't really give a shit. I'm in the business, so I know what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying it ruined a lot of them, but a large portion of them. What has happened is the comments on social media has become so impactful in the reality star's life that they refuse to show up themselves. And they perform for the social media comments. They become a caricature based on what they think people like about them.
Right.
They come in with gimmicks, thinking like, this is going to make me iconic, or this is what's going to make me a star. The reason
Like
why
Nika did.
She who shall not be named.
The reason why I bring this up, Dustin, because my
or like Drew with those dog treats that one season.
Oh my God.
I'm still mad about that. Not to derail, but we're talking about it.
And the full country glam she had on at the reunion that year too. Drew Sidor said in that first share looking like Loretta Lynn and all that Patsy Cline, full country glam. I was like, damn, Drew, like you are, it's just a missed opportunity, right? I think that's the frustration. It was a missed opportunity.
So that's a lot of it are those three cases. A lot of them join to get famous and rich real quick. A lot of them join it and when they do join it, social media commentary has really taken a toll on them. And that's the reason why, one example that I always give, and I'm only talking about this because she talks about it publicly because I don't tell my cat's business in terms of private conversations, but Letitia Scott is somebody who contacted me and said, the comments are very vicious and I don't know how to handle this. And I said to her, you have to get off Twitter. You have to get off Twitter. Do it for yourself. Do it for your mental health. Long story short, she did it. And Tisha, is her words, not mine. Tisha is living her rich wife era. It's because she found the rhythm for her. So my advice to reality stars is you have to find the rhythm that works for you. You can't be a slave to the comments of social media because let me tell you something. And Jasmine and Dustin knows this for sure. One day y'all love me, the next day y'all hate me. I'm beloved years from and one thing I don't do, and Jasmine knows this a lot doing our podcast together because my opinion caused so much conversation that Jasmine was like, oh, these people are they don't like you. But a lot of people do like me. But one thing I said to her and I say to Dustin is I'm never going to be a slave to comments because as long as I show up with the best intentions and authentically me, I already won the game. And so Jasmine, I bring all of that up to say, when you ask yourself, like, what Mia is giving, this is my opinion, and you guys, I'm being honest. Mia, in my opinion, after I met Mia in person, and she sat down on my couch for an hour, and we were able to talk afterwards. That is Mia. Now, look, you don't have to like it. And I'm not here to talk about whether or not you're supposed to like it. The only thing I would say when it comes to Mia as an example, and I'm only bringing up Mia because Jasmine brought up Mia, like whatever, is that is who Mia honestly is when the cameras ain't rolling. Mia came into my studio the way Mia walked into a scene, and yes, Dustin, she had blonde hair. And based on the conversations I was having with Mia after our interview wrapped, I was like, she is everything that I expected her to be. But I do think it's what Dustin said, and Dustin actually gave me this advice when it comes to comments. Dustin said to me, Carlos, the comments that people leave is not for you. It's for them and the other people in the comments to have a dialogue.
Yeah.
And when I say to you, right, Jazz, when I say to you that light bulb switched for me, it hit me. The comments that people leave under your post, has absolutely nothing to do with you, the individual. They have to have a conversation in the comments, and let's have a real conversation. When we see a funny post on the Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk, Jasmine Brand, or anything, what's the first thing we do? We go to the comments to see who got the best comment. And that's the reason why you have to understand, and all of us have to own it. We all look in the comments to see which one is cooking the best commentary, which is why we say, I'm going to come back when the comments are lit. So what we're doing when you say that is you're forcing people to leave the most ridiculous, salacious comment in the world for your entertainment. So again, when it comes to reality TV, my advice to you, Jazz, is sometimes you have to say to yourself, maybe this ain't for me anymore. There's certain shows I stopped watching that I realized this ain't for me anymore. I'm 45 years old. I'm at a very different place in my life. Life has been lifing. And for me, I'm not gonna say which shows I stopped watching. So don't
please
ask me.
don't. Please God. Please.
I'm not, because that's a whole nother YouTube. That's another YouTube post that's gonna come out this week. What I will say is, and this is me being honest with you guys, there's a lot of shows I stopped watching because I said to myself, it no longer is for me. And what I did, I just took a step back and said, once I feel like it's giving me what I desire, I'll return. But I'll end it with this. I literally, guys, outside of my own shows, and this is me being very honest, I only watch 2 reality shows a week.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you're online trashing the shows that you don't watch. And I think that's the difference, right? You have to learn you have to not even learn, you have to understand your responsibility as a viewer of the show to not be toxic. You know what I'm saying? It's just the reality of it. I'll talk just as much shit as the next person, but I try my best not to go out of my way and bring negative energy towards something that if I don't rock necessarily with something, I just don't. I don't have to declare the fact that I don't rock with it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the difference. The comment section, and I firmly believe this, it is not for the person that's in the video. It's for the people that watch the video or read the post or whatever and are implored to share some sort of, or have a reaction that they think is worthy to be shared. That's what it's for. Have fun down there. It's not for people. We're on this live right now. It's none of our business what's going on in the chat. Our job is not to see something in the chat and then respond or reformat or whatever to appease that. Those are for the comments that are for people who are watching this and discussing it amongst themselves. And it's a respectable, great place. And we thank God for it. We thank God for those passionate reactions. We thank God for the views because it keeps everything going. But there is a line of accountability and just decency that a person has to have and not be willing to go the extra mile to make contact or get yourself noticed or whatever. It's just not. Have your fun, have a reaction to the show and be entertained and move on. That's all we need to do. So it's tricky, but you gotta do an entertainment. Yeah.
Yes. Before go ahead, Jazz. Want to say something?
Wait, I feel like we cannot wrap the Potomac conversation. I don't know. Have you talked about Karen?
No, we haven't.
I don't want to make it too long, right? Like speaking of authenticity and just like sharing real stories, I do want Karen to come back next season. I want Karen to address like what happened. I don't take glee in that. I don't find it entertaining. I actually find it very sad to witness. But I do think that Karen has the opportunity to take take accountability and say, hey, I did this thing. This was messed up. I put myself in danger. I put other people in danger. This is how I'm going to do better. I do think in all of my maybe reassessing of like what I want from reality TV stars, at the end of the day, these guys are stars. And I think there is a real opportunity for a teachable moment with drinking and driving. And everybody knows I love Karen down. I do not support this, but I think there is an opportunity for Karen to come back next season and say, or even at the reunion, I messed up. Like I had a drinking problem. I have a drinking problem. I'm getting the help. This is not okay to do. Like, don't find entertainment in this. This was not good. This was not cool.
I don't think it's nothing she can say after them videos we saw over the weekend. Because when I tell you, our girl was on one that night, and it just was the reality of it. Karen was drunk. She was drunk driving. Thank God in heaven, or whatever your belief system is, thank your source that no one was hurt, that she was not hurt. Thank God that the police officer, there was no weird police shit between her and them. You know what I mean? For the most part, Karen just has to pay her debt to society, whatever that looks like, and move on from this in a healthier way. But I want to know what she was talking. What did she mean? I want to know what you mean, you Thomas Jefferson's conscience. What was she drinking? What was she carrying? Must have had. She was full of Mad Dog or Boone's Farm. She was drinking some old E&J. She was drinking some old. That was one of them good drunk, just down in it. She was just feeling that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was hilarious. So it wasn't funny. Poor Ray, bless his heart. Ray was trying his best to help her at that scene with the police. He was trying his best, digging for an ID or whatever, holding on to that vomit on that bag without complaint. Ray is, if we didn't think, I know Ray said whatever he said on the show before about, I think so. If he's in love with her or whatever, damn it, we know now. Because Ray was a ride or die, you know what I'm saying, for Karen in that case. And it just ain't nothing she can say. Karen, just go on this reunion and be like, yes, I fucked up. I fucked up bad. Y'all all saw it. What do you want me to do? I'm apologizing to my family and to the world, to the officers. And that's it. Just say what you did, take accountability, and then check each and every one of them on those couches at that reunion to have their own bones ready to fall out the closet. That's what you do. You take accountability, don't make no excuses, and then handle your business. And I also want to say, I think it's utterly ridiculous that's even being discussed that there's rumors of her being fired for this. There's no reason that Karen should lose her employment with who is the production company over there? Whoever it is. Is that Pervade?
Truly, right?
Okay, Truly. Yeah, Truly. You losing your that's ridiculous. Karen does not need to be fired or disciplined. This has nothing to do. If anything, this is what we're going to talk about on the damn show. So she doesn't need to depart the show for this. Let her cook. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. No, listen. So what I'll say is I'll echo the same sentiments. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Karen.
Absolutely.
And it's just something to where yeah. It was, we love Karen. And I saw Karen, was it last week or the week before? I saw Karen the week before, and she was in great spirits. She was in great spirits. It's just, it was very sad. It was very sad. But again, listen, my prayers go out to Karen and Ray and the children. And like Dustin said, we'll see Karen at the reunion. I do think they're taping it very soon. Good. So, you know, we'll be able to hear her thoughts about this. But yeah, it was very sad. It was very sad. Yeah. So we have to talk about Married to Medicine. Jasmine tweets were on fire last night. Let's just talk about this scene that everybody wants us to address. Let's just get right into it. So Contessa is back. Contessa is back as a friend of. So Contessa, as we all know, was a main cast member for, I think like 5-6 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, maybe. And she is now back as a friend to the show. The cast went on a trip and things started tripping. Jasmine, go ahead, child. I know you have lots of thoughts.
Because Heavenly was so nasty for that. She was so nasty. Like that yo mama stuff. She's gotten in trouble for that. But Contessa was trying to give her now, like my mom who passed away. And she stood on it. Disgusting. And I will say I do not condone violence, but as someone who has a sick mother right now, if somebody was saying yo mama and we're in the heat of the moment, I would have slapped the shit out of her. I'm so sorry. I do not condone violence, but that's a slappable offense. Like, are you kidding me? That was so disgusting. And then Heavenly talks all this, and then she was calling for security. Heavenly. Stop doing so much. Stop running your mouth so much. If you know you're going to be calling for security, that's what you get. I think with this, there were people who were saying both ways. Like what Contessa was saying to Heavenly was hurtful, but keep it at the husband's. Keep it there. Like, don't talk about somebody's dead parent. Like, I can't get through that. I can't get over that. And if I was Contessa, I would never ever speak to Heavenly ever again. Like, there would be never a word that Heavenly could say to me. I don't care if it's sorry, because you took it there and I tried to give you an out to stop yourself and realize what you were saying, and you dug your heels in. I will never speak to her again if I was Contessa.
Yeah, the thing is, and Dustin, I'll get to you too. The thing is this. And I told Heavenly this too, and Heavenly knows how I feel. I don't like your mama jokes. That's me. I don't like it. My mom has passed away. I'm with you, Jazz, in terms of I just don't like your mama jokes. I didn't like your mama jokes as a kid because I was a mama's boy. So you talk about my mama, it's a problem. Yeah. This is my thing. I just think your mama jokes or talking about someone's mom, I just think should keep it to each other. Like leave the moms out of it, the kids out of it. And I would even say the husbands. I think it's one of those things where if you and I, Jasmine, if you and I are getting into it and I have a problem with you, I'm going to address you. I'm not going to address your man. I'm not going to talk about I'm not going to bring your man into our beef. I think it should stick to each other. If y'all gonna go toe to toe, go toe to toe. I don't like your mama jokes. I've never liked it. I've said it to Heavenly before. She knows how I feel, and I love this from Heavenly. And the same thing when Candace said it to Mia once, and I love Candace, and I said, I just think your mama. That. Yeah, I am somebody. I have never liked it, and I just think leave the mothers, the children, the husbands out of the reeds and stick with each other.
Yeah, I mean, you say something about my mama, dead or alive, and I'm fucking you up personally. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. So I totally understand it. I think that it is worth noting, right? That Contessa was taking some and y'all please excuse, of course, here come the sirens of Harlem when I start speaking my piece about this. But Contessa started a lot of that low blow mud slinging that was going on. I guess that's Heavenly coming to get me before I talk about Contessa.
she might be on her way to me. Okay. She might be on her way to me in Queens. Heavenly, please don't.
But I think that Contessa started a lot of that low blow shit when she was saying things. Let's zoom out a little bit, because sometimes that's what you have to do, right? Heavenly and Contessa are an unlikely duo that became real friends in real life, traveled together, intermingled their families, shared personal information. Like, they were real friends. We know that for Heavenly to have that sort of commitment to a relationship, the allegiance that she has, like to Dr. Jackie, to people that she took Quad, through it all, she maintains a connection with her because that fundamental relationship is important. That's a rarity when it comes to what we've seen from Dr. Heavenly on this show. She really cared about Contessa, and Contessa appeared to really care about her. When they started arguing on this week's episode, Contessa was saying some shit that were obvious low blows because she's hurt. She resents Heavenly for speaking on the details that she shared with her about her marriage when she was at a low point with her husband, and Heavenly held too tight to those things and started behaving differently with Contessa's husband, with Contessa. That's a grave mistake that you make in a friendship. You got to keep that separated. You know what I mean? And you have to be the type of friend that knows how to compartmentalize all of that, unless a person's safety is involved. That's a different conversation. But telling you details about your man or whatever, you keep that in as a friend. Heavenly crossed the line with that. Contessa got back with her man and she wasn't ready to deal with or reconcile the embarrassment of kind of facing and accepting, standing in the shit that she said. So instead, she thought it was smarter to just go at Heavenly no holds barred. That's why we've seen guns blazing from her. For her to talk about Heavenly, she said, you buy your kids. You started, and she was yelling so that what she was saying would be sure to be amplified on the mics and be carried into the final cut. She said, you know, you bought a beauty supply to keep your daughter's love, and it failed. It didn't succeed. She was taking some real low blows, talking about Heavenly's love for her children, all that kind of shit. And that's why Heavenly started talking about that husband. And to me, it's a full stop. I'm by no means excusing what Dr. Heavenly said about Contessa's mother, her deceased mother. That was reprehensible, right? So full stop. Wrong as hell. You wrong for saying that about her deceased mother. But Contessa was slinging a lot of low blows in that argument too. And I have a disdain for people who end a friendship with someone and then try to use the things, you know, to try to hurt them. To me, that's just a nasty spirit that I saw surface. People put that on Heavenly a lot, but we saw it in blatant form from Contessa every scene we've seen her in this season as a friend. She's let us know how much she can't stand Heavenly. I don't know if that's to ensure, you know what I'm saying, her place on the cast or what, but it doesn't look good when you come off of that. I didn't like that. I don't think that's who Contessa is as a person. I think she's a very accomplished physician. She used to talk about wanting to be the Surgeon General. She had lofty goals and like just a beautiful family, you know what I'm saying? A gorgeous home. There's so much more to concentrate on than her bad clothes and her fighting with Heavenly. So I just would rather, you know what I'm saying? Like I would rather them figure that out and Contessa just get back to being fun and lighthearted as opposed to someone with an axe to grind every fucking time we see her. It just becomes a lot. I honestly think she forgot. I think Heavenly forgot that Contessa's mother was passed away in the heat of that argument. And after it came out, instead of saying, I'm sorry, I didn't think I shouldn't have said that, and kind of owning it then, she doubled down on it in anger. And that was just flat out wrong as hell. Just wrong as fuck. There's nothing you can say to
but
excuse
that's
it.
why, because the thing is this, you never know what someone's mom is going through. Jasmine just revealed her mother is sick as of today. So me being somebody who knows her mother is alive, you know, if I didn't know Jasmine's mom was sick, just because I see your mama jokes, that's why I just think this for everybody. Leave the mamas and the daddies and the kids out of it. Don't talk about kids. Don't talk about, you know, parents. And the thing with Contessa, listen, I love Contessa. I was sad she wasn't returning to the show. The Contessa is definitely going low. What I loved about Contessa to me, being a fan of the show, she always kind of rose above it a little bit, and she without being seen as somebody who can defend herself. I don't like the low mudslinging from Contessa, because I agree with you, Dustin. I just don't think that's her. And I know Contessa, and Contessa is funny. She's smart, and she could get with you. But I was surprised with some of the things Contessa was saying, only because that's not the Contessa that I've ever saw.
It's clear. It's clear. That's why it seems so forced and so like, goddamn, like why is this what you're choosing to do when there's so many other options here? So I hope they figure that out. But to me, that's like a point of no return. My mama passed away. You fuck with my family a lot. I don't care what side of the ground they on. You mess with mine that I love, that's a non-negotiable. Like there's no coming back from that. So let's see what that looks like, you know, in the form of a reality show. I don't know, but
true.
Yeah,
no, it's gonna be hard. Go ahead, Jazz. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, outside of that though, like we talked about what I want out of reality stars. This is a show I'm riding with them till the wheels fall off. I love Married to Medicine. Like I watch this show and I'm like, I want to be just like these ladies when I get into like my 50s and 60s, like just beautiful. Like even when they get into the drama, like it feels like until this point, it always felt like stuff that they could come back from, and that's what I've always loved about this show. So I'm gonna keep watching it. But yeah, if I was Contessa, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But she might be a woman of forgiveness.
Yeah, the thing is that it's going to be hard to see how they be able to navigate through that. So they haven't shot their reunion yet. One thing that we know Heavenly has done in the past that we've seen, she will apologize.
For sure.
So, I'm hoping Heavenly apologizes to her. But like Jasmine said, is an apology even enough? And that's something that we have to respect Contessa's boundaries. It's an apology enough. And listen, on the other side of it, Can Heavenly possibly accept an apology when Contessa accused Daddy of having, was it mixed babies?
Yeah, she said mixed
Mm.
babies with the possible last name of Khan. Some internet rumors, bullshit that should have never made it to the final cut. But yes, that's what she said.
So can Heavenly forgive her for putting out there that Damon may have side children when his kids have to listen to that? So that's what I'm saying. I think there's just certain things that if you're gonna read each other, listen. One thing about Lanithia Monique Johnson Leaks and Kimberly Zolciak, those two used to read each other this down to the ground. Sheree and Nene, Range Rover, Teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you lost your house, we lost your. They kept it to each other. Like, let's go. And I think if the reality girls want to listen, I think go back to keeping it beefing with each other and leave everything else out of it.
Good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Well, look, tonight has been fantastic. It's everything I thought it would be and more. Monday Night Live is always full of surprises. And Jasmine and Dustin, I thank you two so much for making this the most viewed live that we've had this year. And for us to sort of like culminate what an amazing year this has been. I also have an announcement to make. Are y'all ready for it?
Carlos, please. I can't take any more announcements.
My nerves hot.
Right.
I have an announcement to make.
Okay.
Reality with the King tour is coming back next year. Look at
I don't know what I was prepared for, but
so make sure you follow me for updates, and I will be announcing something very special along with some guests. So OMFG Reality TV, he's amazing.
Love them.
Joey. His name is
Love
Joey.
that.
Hey Joey, thanks for stopping in.
Joey.
Okay.
Shout out to Joey. Love that. Love
Joey.
that platform. Yes.
All right. So I love you, Jazz. I love you, Dustin. Thanks for spending Monday night with
Love
me
you,
on this YouTube live. And I'll see you guys soon.
Jasmine, you the shit.
You are too. Can I say one quick thing really quickly, Carlos?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm casting for a video podcast called First on Us. We're casting in Atlanta right now, and we want to send singles in Atlanta on blind dates, and we're going to pay for the whole thing. So if you are single in Atlanta, and I mean single, no situationships, okay? You are a diverse single, so we're looking for all races, all sexual orientations, all gender identities, okay? firstonus.com. Apply. You have to be 28 years or older though, because we need mature folks. But yes, go to firstonus.com. I'm going to change my name real quick so you guys can go to it. But I'm casting for this, and yeah, we're looking for singles in Atlanta. So if you
congratulations, Jasmine. That's such a smart idea. It sounds so fun and interesting. Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you.
No, that's amazing. No, Jazz is doing great stuff. So Jazz, once again, please say the name of the website where people can sign up for this.
firstonus.com. And Carlos, since you are kind of, you know what I'm saying, do your application so we can have you on and match you.
Jasmine, listen, I will do everything for you except sign on
but
to your
I
know. and Jasmine knows I'll do anything for her.
You would. It was a joke. I know. But some people in your audience might be looking for that special somebody.
Oh, they are.
Help them find it. So yeah, in Atlanta, we hope to expand to other cities. So if you're not in Atlanta, just sit tight. But yeah, Atlanta singles, clock in.
Firstonus.com, baby.
Yes.
All right. Happy holidays, you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all soon.
Same to you.
Happy holidays, y'all.
Okay, listen. What a night. 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 So, yes, we have a lot going on. We have a lot to do. And listen, as we sort of look to the holidays and the new year, I want to implore to all of you, enjoy your family and friends while they are still around and still here. Hey, Nate. The holiday season, this is what I do the holiday season, and this is real tea. For the past, like, I think 10 years, because I don't get a chance to take a break with everything I have going on. I always spend the holiday season being still and reflecting and talking to God. So I implore all of you to do the same in terms of like spend the any break you guys may have. And I know that some of you guys will not have a break, but if you can find a small moment to just really take advantage of this being the end of the year, to reflect on who you want to be, who you want to become, where you want to go, I implore you all to do that, you know, during this season, because 2025 is around the corner. And I want all of you to have a very blessed and prosperous new year. I really, really do. Okay. And there was somebody who had a birthday that I want to give a shout out. We could find them again, but happy birthday, happy holidays. So I may give y'all something special, a bonus episode before the new year. I may. It depends. It depends. It depends. But I got a lot of stuff cooking. I got some exclusives happening. So me and my fur. This is so cute. I got dressed up for a special occasion. And last but not least, shout out to the Raindrops. So Raindrops, don't forget, you can pick up your Raindrop bracelets over at letmeaccessorizeyou.com. Letmeaccessorizeyou.com. So go pick that up. I love you, Raindrops. If I don't see you guys before the end of the year, I love you so much. Thank you for your constant support, your loyalty. And I could not do any of this, obviously, without God, first and foremost, child. But without the love and support you guys have given me, you guys have grew this YouTube channel in less than 2 years. And I'm so grateful and thankful. I really am. And I want you guys to know that I don't take any of this for granted. I don't take any of this for granted. I don't take y'all for granted. I don't take any of my blessings for granted. I know that at the end of the day, my blessings come from the Lord. And as a student who tries his best to practice obedience and letting God be God and being still, I choose to live my life that way. And it's the culmination of that has brought this love. Oh my God, I'm really choked up. It has brought me this love that I have for you guys. I hope you guys know this when I say this. I don't take for granted the support that I get. I don't take for granted when you guys tune into my shows. You know, when people counted me out, when I decided to quit the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and everybody around me said to me, like, your career is over, child. What you gonna do? My raindrops have followed me throughout my entire career. Is the reason why, you know, I'm blessed to have my podcast went to #1. Jasmine Hilly Brown was the EP at the time. And God brought me Jasmine. God brought me Jasmine. And I'm so grateful to her for giving me that opportunity. I'm grateful to you guys for subscribing. I thank you for every viewer that I have. I thank you for every subscriber that I have. I am just a little gay Black boy from Detroit, Michigan, who decided to have a dream. And all I did was try to stay in my faith. And even when things got tough, I stayed in my faith. And my life that you guys see today is a culmination of God, faith, hard work, and being still. I don't take any of you guys for granted. I love everybody that has been in my life. I love all of you guys. To be called the king of interviews, I literally had a podcast that was audio, and you guys read me and said, "Girl, we want to see your face." And then I think Nene Leakes. Nene Leakes did one of the first in-person interviews, and she said, "You have something special. Do this in person." I'm like, "Okay, fine." And then it skyrocketed. You know, what you guys are seeing is somebody who constantly is just trying to figure things out. And you guys have literally supported me since the first day you guys knew who I was. And it's because of you. It's because of y'all loyalty to me. It's because y'all love for me. To have the #1 show on Saturday nights is a blessing. To have the #1 show on Friday nights is a blessing. I don't take any of that for granted. It's because of you guys. It's because of the hard work of my cast and my crew and just everybody involved in my life. It takes a village. There is no I in team. I may be the face of production, and I get that, but I am nothing as well without my team, without my cast. I love all of my cast, my crew. It takes a village to produce a show. It takes a village to produce the podcast. That's why I'm so happy that Jasmine is able to show her face, because me and her used to get into it. Like, I don't want to talk about that, Jazz. She's like, girl, that's going to give us the numbers. And we were able to do that. I think Dustin is busy, and Dustin has a 9-to-5. And I don't take for granted Dustin joining us every Monday night. These people have lives. I thank Dustin so much. I love him. He's my brother. He is not my man. Stop trying to make things happen. But at the end of the day, I thank all of you. To be called the king of reality television does not get lost on me. I try to engage with you guys as much as possible on Twitter, in person. I don't turn down people when they ask for a picture. I know what it feels like to meet one of your heroes. I know what it feels like to meet somebody who you think is your best friend in your head. I know what it means to meet somebody who looks like you. You know, the first day I met Brandy Norwood, the first time I met her, Brandy Norwood, she made me feel special because she engaged with me. And I remember saying to myself, I want everybody to feel about me the way I felt about Brandy. So when you guys approach me in these streets, and Lord knows y'all do, I will stop what I'm doing and take a picture. I will stop what I'm doing to engage with you guys. I'm able to afford the meal because you guys watch my shows. I'm able to fly because you guys watch and subscribe to my stuff. I don't take any of you guys for granted. I'm fully aware that the success of my shows has a lot to do with the audience as well. And I know you guys are very opinionated, some more than others, but I take it all. I receive it all and I take it all. But I could not end this Monday Night Live. I do, girl. Hey, boo. I did not want to end this Monday Night Live as we wrap up the year 2024 without letting you guys know that. It's why I got dressed up, because I'm outside and y'all know I want to be cute. So thank y'all for me being cute. And I also want to thank too, Fatia, I may be seeing you soon, and that's what I'm gonna say. I'm telling y'all too much. So look, I want to thank the entire cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville. #1 show for 4 or 5 consecutive years is not easy. Shout out to them. Shout out to my cast of Belle Collective. Belle Collective is finally getting the attention it deserves. It finally is getting the attention it deserves. We work so hard to make sure you guys have a great show to watch. And shout out to my cast and my crew, and just I'm so grateful that we were named one of the top 10 best reality shows of 2024. Belle Collective was on the bubble. Belle Collective was not supposed to come back, but God had other plans. Okay? So You just never know what's going to happen. And I want to thank Willie and Aikisha Cologne. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for everything you brought to the show. You guys are going to be missed and irreplaceable. And I love you too immensely and your children. And I also would like to dedicate this episode to JJ's mother. JJ recently lost his mother. And I want to dedicate this episode to her. If you are a fan of Belle Collective, you watched her on the show. That was JJ's mom, honey. Funny, feisty, fiery, and just has so much personality. My thoughts and prayers go out to JJ, his daughters, to Soguchi. Losing a loved one is hard. It's even harder losing someone near the holidays. So I want to dedicate this episode to JJ's mom and thank her for showing the world who you are. And I know that you are in heaven having fun, okay, with my mama. As y'all get to watch the part 1 reunion on Friday, honey. So tell my mama I said hi, okay? Make sure y'all eat some, well, y'all in heaven, so eat what you want to, child. But tell my mama I said hi, and I love that you two get to watch Belle Collective together every Friday night as we celebrate your amazing son and Soguchi and your granddaughters as well. I love all of you raindrops. Have a blessed, prosperous, and safe new year. Carlos King, baby. I'll see y'all 2025. Love y'all. Bye.